Hello folks, welcome along. We have returned. Apologies, can you see my tip? You can't, lovely. Apologies for missing stream on Friday. As you will have seen if you've been watching the videos, we were out and about gallivanting in Scotland, a faraway land we only got home from about 3 hours ago. So as usual, when we've been off travelling for the weekend, there will be no Anna this evening. She is recovering from 6 hours cooped up in a car off the back of 3 days of wandering around a strange and exotic location. So Anna should be back for Friday's stream, but I am going to be carrying on building this set, the Lego Editions football, just under 1,500 pieces. We started it on the stream last Monday. We've done the first 3 bags, which, to be honest, gives us what I consider the most interesting piece, which is the little stadium piece that lives inside it. And we've made a start on the base. So I guess now we'll be doing the mechanism that allows the stadium to emerge from within it and the rest of the exterior stuff, and making a lovely sphere. So I'm going to crack on with that. Let me know down in the comments what you're going to be building along with us, and then we can chat about this. We can chat about what we got up to over the weekend. You can tell me if you went to retired sets and if you won the oh, there you go, there's that printed piece, and if you won the Mr. Gold minifigure or not. I've not seen any fuss being made on social media, so I assume nobody's won it yet. We have got another video from Scotland coming out tomorrow, which will be us Lego shopping at the Lego store and a few other places in both Glasgow and Edinburgh over the course of the weekend. It was originally going to be 2 videos, but neither of them were really long enough to justify existing on their own. So it's a little clunkily edited in places, as I turned what was originally 2 videos into 1 video, but that should be out with you tomorrow usual time. And then normal service resumed for a few days, and it is only for a few days because this weekend, it never stops, boys and girls. This weekend is the Brickish weekend at the National Space Centre in Leicester, which is one of my favourite Lego conventions of the year. It was awesome last year when I went along. We are going to be going along again, and it's a convention very much along the lines of Bricktastic rather than the normal weekend ones, in that it is raising money for charity. In fact, raising money for the same charity, Fairy Bricks, who are the people who run Bricktastic. But also, certainly last year, a lot of the mocks that were at Bricktastic were at the Leicester event as well. So if you do live a little bit further south and are gutted you missed out on Bricktastic from a mocks perspective, then you want to be getting along to the National Space Centre in Leicester next weekend. And it's not, your ticket gets you not just entry to the convention, but the convention is spread out all over the National Space Centre, all over the museum. So you get, for 1 entry ticket price, you get a cool Lego convention, plus one of the best like museum exhibits we've got in the Midlands as well. You'll get full day's entry into the Space Centre. So very cool weekend. Hopefully we'll see some of you along there. Meanwhile, I'll see what's going on in the chat. How was Scotland? The retire set video was an eye-opener. How many sets did they have? They had all of the sets. They had a little bit of everything. I am glad I left my wallet in the car, or that could have been a disaster. We go to Florida in a month. I can't be spending thousands of pounds on Lego. So yeah, that's why I didn't go crazy. Didn't buy anything at all in there actually, because if I'd have broken the seal, that would have been it. I would have bought one of everything, and it's probably for the best that I didn't. Mr. Gold was still available as per this morning. I'm building the Winnie the Pooh. I started at 3:30 and still doing it. Nice. That's on my list of things to build this month. Halfway through watching a Scotland trip, just switched over to the stream. Left you in the middle of the sensory tunnel. That place was awesome. Once we eventually got there, that place was awesome. I do urge you all after the stream to go and watch the vlog of our trip to Scotland that came out on the vlog channel at 5 o'clock. And like I say, the last Lego video from Scotland will be out tomorrow. So we've had a busy little weekend. Very enjoyable, but very busy weekend. And made some very cool content as well. Shape of Soup, thank you very much for 12 months as a channel member. Lovely stuff. I'm building the botanical frame current gift with purchase. We got one of those at the weekend, so I imagine Anna will be building it soon. I've got tickets for it. First time going to Brickish and wandering around the Space Centre. Nice. Can't believe it's already been a year since you were at the National Space Centre. Time goes scarily fast. Indeed, it does. When are the Pocopia updates, Kev? Enjoying the content? They've been coming out every other day, haven't they? I think there's still at least one more that's pre-recorded that's scheduled to come out yet. I'll be looking to record some more to try and keep that going. But yeah, I've been aiming to get one out every couple of days. On my non-YouTube save, I have nearly finished it now. I'm very much in the end game and should have finished the story before recording for YouTube again. So I have a good idea of obviously where things are going, but the great thing about Pocopia is similar to Animal Crossing. I very much get the idea that once the credits roll, that's when the game kind of officially starts and we get to go full on creative mode with it, which is going to be lots of fun. That uphill walk in Edinburgh brought back fringe memories. Yeah, it was absurd. Ellie, thank you for 23 months as a channel member. Almost finished the sorting of the Lego house dinosaurs. Building next. Lovely. You can get a wall bracket for the Technic F1 car. Yeah, it was waiting for me when I got home, so that'll be going up at some point this week. Will I be going to the Coventry convention? When is it? I mean, the answer is if I'm around, then yeah, because Coventry's only down the road. But we are entering the period now where we're going to start missing a few local events because I won't be in the country. We're off to Florida in a month or so. I also am kind of thinking I might be going to Billund before then because we've got a brand deal video that we need to do, which would really tie in nicely with some foreign travel. So I might disappear off to Billund again, similar to how when we went last year it was a sponsored trip. We might take advantage of having a sponsor and pitch to them the idea of going to Billund and doing it there. So there might be a day trip to Billund that appears in the next few weeks as well. We shall see. Hopefully there will be. I do like going to Billund. It'll probably just be me. I asked Anna if she wanted to go, and she doesn't like the idea of a day trip, which is realistically the only way we can do it. On your way back from Scotland, you should have called at the Metro Centre store. We didn't come that way down the country. We just basically stayed on the M6 or whatever the Scottish version of the M6 was. It's really easy getting from where we live up to Scotland. You just basically get on one road, point yourself in the right direction, and then turn off when you hit Glasgow. So it was very straightforward. But yeah, we didn't come back via the east coast. Charmaine Mickey McCormack. Thank you for the super chat. Will you be going to the Coventry convention? Were you the person who asked before, or is that someone else who's asking? Either way, the answer I just gave is the answer. It depends on when it is. I don't know when it is. If it's soon and I'm available, then probably yeah. But I don't know. I don't know for sure. There you go. That's how they attach. How do you have the money for Lego and to pay life stuff? I mean, let me answer your question with a question. I assume you buy Lego and life stuff too. Where do you get your money from for that? And I imagine our answers are pretty similar. Is Billund still a day trip for you? No overnight required. It looks like at the moment it is possible to do it as a day trip from, I think you have to fly from Gatwick. So flying from Gatwick early in the morning makes it a little harder for it to be a day trip, because just getting to Gatwick early in the morning means there's probably a good chance I'd have to stay over at Gatwick the night before, unless I wanted to drive during the middle of the night, which I don't really like. But yeah, I think it is just about possible to do. It won't be as cheap as it was last year, but that's why we will wait for a sponsor. And if we have the right sponsor and the video works and they like the idea, then that's how I get over there without it costing me a fortune. How long do the Lego house sets usually live for before retirement? Years. Years, like 2-3 years at least. The pirate one has been available for like 5 years at this point, I think. So yeah, you have plenty of time, but I'm an impatient man and want to get over there. And realistically, if we don't, or if I don't go in the next couple of weeks, because we've got the Florida trip coming up, and then it's the World Cup, which I'd like to think the World Cup will leave me quite busy on the other channel. All being well, all going to plan. Realistically, if I'm going to go before like September, it needs to be in the next couple of weeks, or else I'm just not going to have the opportunity to get over there. So I'm thinking, if I can fit it in, if I can find a way to make it work, definitely a day trip to Billund. Did I see the new Lego Crocs? I did. Am I allowed to like those ones? I've not kept up to date with the internet discourse while we've been away. I've been very busy. I quite like them. I quite like Crocs in general, and I think they're quite cool. I think I probably will get a pair. If I don't get the Crocs, I'll get a pack of those Jibbits to put on my existing ones. I have multiple pairs of Crocs currently. Anna has even more than me. We are definitely Crocs people. So yeah, I like them for sure. Right, I've got a missing piece. What have I done wrong here? Handsome rascal that I am. Is it a missing piece, or have I just used the wrong piece somewhere? No, it is missing, which means it's probably still in the bag. That's not ideal, because it's an awkward little piece that I'm not going to have a spare for here. Has it gone on the floor? It's definitely not in there. Definitely not in there. We're missing one of these pieces. Coventry Convention's on the 4th of April. Then there's a pretty good chance we'll probably be there. I mean, in all honesty, I tend not to know until a few days before. But I think there's a good chance I probably will. This plan might be scuppered, boys and girls, because I'm not going to have another one of these at home. Am I just being simple? Is it here? I don't think it is. Have they put... I'm just flicking through. I think what might have happened... Yeah, we've got 2 of these when we only need 1 more of these. And we need to have 1 more of these, so we need that swapping for that. That's what's happened. I don't know if we could maybe botch it with one of those. It's probably not gonna work. It's gonna be too long. Have the Studgate station and the old train shed double in a box in you. I come over to England 3 times a year. I live in Brussels in Belgium. Very nice. Kevin, bring a pipe from the Lego house with you when you come to Florida, and I'll drive there to buy it from you. I'm not going to have room in my luggage, I'm afraid. What's a good way to message you about a YouTube video idea? I mean, you can post it in the chat here, or you can join our Discord, which is down in the description. Or there's an email address on all my socials. Any of those work. Just join to hear the good news. You like the Lego Crocs? I'll be picking up a pound. Yeah, I think they're quite cool. Plus, it's much more clever for him to not see which convention he's going to, because of the potential that Anna may go with him and he doesn't want to get burgled. I mean, you don't know where I live, so I'm not particularly worried about that. Is there another one of these anywhere over here? I mean, it would be pretty fortuitous if there was. I think we're going to have to put this one to one side, folks. I imagine there's loads of these in the set as well. So we might just pinch one from the next bag and keep pushing the problem down the road. Yeah, there's 28 of those in the set as a whole. So I think we're just going to kick the problem down the road and hope it resolves itself. There you go. So that's out of the next bag. It's only a temporary solution, but there might be an extra one in one of the other bags. You never know. So let's pretend there's no issue, and cross our fingers and hope it'll all be okay. Right, there we go. Is the piece on the floor? I don't think so. I can't see it. I'll try flashing a torch down here. No, it doesn't look like it. I think it's literally just they've put one of these in by mistake, an extra one of these, which doesn't quite fit the same way, but probably weighs a very similar amount. But hopefully it'll resolve itself with an extra one somewhere in one of the other bags. That would be ideal. I'm pretty sure I didn't swap out the wrong piece earlier. Oh God, I did! I did! You're a genius! I've used the wrong piece here. I'd like to think I would have spotted that eventually. Good eye. There you go. Yeah, we used the wrong piece there. That should have been the first thing I checked. Good work, whoever suggested that. Is the Big Bang Theory set you need for the sit complex? I have one that the building's complete but might have a couple of small accessories missing. If you're in Scotland anytime soon, you're welcome to. Yeah, it's for the sit complex. I'm looking for it. My official policy at the moment, as you would have seen from the videos or the video that came out the other day, and you will eventually see from the video that comes out tomorrow as well, our official policy currently is we're not bringing any more Lego into the house now if we can help it, apart from maybe on launch day, April the 1st. But we are very much in saving mode for our holiday that's coming up. So I do get a lot of offers like that from people. I appreciate them. For now, we're holding fire on bringing in any more stuff because I need to save my pennies. But yeah, later in the year, I'm sure we can have a conversation. Put the other piece back in the bag. I mean, I'm opening that next bag in a second. I can just leave it in front of me. It's fine. It was out of the next bag. I don't need to worry about that. The next bag will be opening in front of me in a moment. The Lego Convention in Coventry on the 4th of April. Yeah, we talked about that a second ago, didn't we? The answer is maybe. I don't know. I don't tend to decide until a few days before. There's a good chance I probably will be, unless I'm already committed to doing something else. And I don't know my calendar that far in advance to know if I'm committed to something else already. I know I have got more and more stuff being added all the time that I'm not always fully aware of, because I'm not the only one who manages my calendar. Anna will add stuff on it. My manager will add stuff on it. So sometimes stuff will just appear and I'll be like, what is this? Where am I going? Why am I going there? And they both are adamant. They do tell me about things at the time, but usually if something isn't happening in the next week or two and it sounds cool, I'll just kind of nod and agree and not really pay attention to what it is or when it is. So yeah, without checking, I don't actually know if I'm free that weekend this far out. I think you said that you had a sponsor for Disney, but if you have any, it might be worth reaching out to Revolut, especially with them becoming a full bank in the UK soon. I mean, we are pretty much set for sponsors for Disney, I think. We have someone who might be familiar to anyone who watches my Twitch streams or has watched the vlogs recently. I can't say anything yet because it hasn't officially started yet, but yeah, it's someone who might be familiar. Is sponsoring the entire trip from a vlog channel perspective, and then we've got a couple of other potential ones lined up to sponsor some block party videos while we're there as well. So I think we're probably maxed out as we are currently. I don't want the series to end up looking like a set of Formula One overalls. We're quite picky and choosy about the sponsors that we use. That's not to say we don't want to use, we wouldn't work with them if the opportunity came up, but it's a little late for this series to bring on someone we've never worked with before. Have I ever visited Iconic Bricks? It doesn't ring any bells. Where is Iconic Bricks? It might be that I have and just don't remember. I've been to a lot of places at various points, but it doesn't ring any bells. Hang on. You shouldn't still be here. Where are you supposed to be? You can tell I've been driving all day. I'm making silly mistakes. That's 2 silly mistakes already. There you go. That's better. No more silly mistakes now. What subject did I teach when I was a teacher? Computer science. Here we go. Bag 5. Why does it seem there's not many conventions in the northeast? How do I put this nicely? There's like 2 cities up there, isn't there? When you're in the Midlands, you can literally go and do Birmingham and Coventry and Derby and Leicester and Nottingham and Northampton and Milton Keynes and Peterborough and Cambridge and Norwich and Ipswich and Lincoln, and it's like everywhere you look there's somewhere big enough to support a convention, whereas the northeast it's kind of just Newcastle, isn't it? Everyone from the northeast is now furious, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't plan them, but having spoken to people who do plan them, they don't like leaving money on the table. So I suspect if they felt like there should be more there would be more there. So I imagine there's the exact right amount based on how busy the ones that are there are doing. So it might just be that they've run a couple and they've not been very successful, so they're reluctant to run a few more. But then all it takes is one big busy one, and I imagine they'll start visiting the area more often. But I think both of the big touring companies pay pretty close attention to how their events perform. So the best way to make sure you get more events local to you is to make sure that when there is one local to you, you get along and support it. So yeah, that's probably why. Plus, I mean, they're both based down this way. National Brick Events are based in Aylesbury. Brick Festivals are based in Milton Keynes. So it's a lot easier for them to move their stuff around the Midlands and the South East than it is to get it all the way up to the North East. I had a look on the Brixby site you suggested. Unfortunately, there are no conventions within an hour's travel, so I'm in a similar dark zone. Yikes, where are you? But there's none within an hour. You must be deep in the middle of nowhere. I mean, I'm in a similar situation with a Lego store. There's no Lego store within an hour of my house, but I'm definitely in a convention hotspot because there's conventions passing by me really regularly, but I have to travel miles to get to the Lego store. So if you've got a Lego store near you, then you win on that front. Have I ever been to the Lego shop in Meadowhall, Sheffield? I haven't. It is on my to-do list. I was in Sheffield last year when I went to Tony Bricks and Bricks and Bits, but just didn't have time on that trip to head into the shopping centre. Had to prioritise. Well, I've been to lots of Lego stores. I'll go to the 2 unique stores and I'll come back at some point, and I will definitely go back. I would like to have a complete set of UK Lego stores in my passport at some point, but I'm not in a huge rush, especially because it feels like lately I've done a lot of, I think that's one of the reasons why tomorrow's video is Glasgow and Edinburgh squashed together into one video, because I feel like I've been to a lot of Lego stores lately, and they are all pretty samey, and I don't want the content to get boring. I'm very conscious that there's been I wouldn't say too many similar videos, but certainly if I'd have done Edinburgh and Glasgow back-to-back days of basically the same video, I think that would have been pushing it a little bit too far, because obviously already this year we've done a couple of trips to Milton Keynes, a couple of trips to Birmingham, Amsterdam, Hamburg. I think we've probably been to Leicester Square. We've done all the stores in Manchester. We've now done the 2 Scotland stores. So we've been to a lot of Lego stores in a relatively short period of time already this year. So, and of course, we've got the American trip coming up as well. So there'll be at least one more on that trip, because at the very least we'll do the Disney Springs one. So yeah, we're just trying to be a little bit conscious of not oversaturating that one particular type of content. But we'll get around them all eventually. They're only just starting them anywhere in Scotland. A couple of really small family events happen this year. Yeah, National Brick. I think the reason retired sets have opened in Glasgow is because they're the same people who run National Brick events, and they basically have had a couple of really, really successful events in Scotland, and off the back of that recognised that it was basically a completely untapped market up there, because everything is really England focused. So even to the point of conventions, independent Lego stores. So they're smart guys, and I think they just spotted a gap in the market for something like that up in Scotland off the back of running a couple of successful events up there. So I think it is starting to catch up, the Lego scene up there compared to the rest of the UK. Random question, but how many bags were the big Pokemon set? I can't remember off the top of my head. Loads. I did build them on a video. If you look back on the channel, there is a video of me building them, so you can get a proper answer. It's like 60 plus. I can't remember exactly how many, but if you watch that video, you'll see in there exactly how many. Did you know in Disney Florida there's a Winnie the Pooh ride with a gift shop next door? I mean, I didn't specifically know that, but I kind of assumed there would be. I'd like to think there's pretty much every Disney character somewhere in Florida with a ride in a gift shop. That's kind of the point, I think. So, yeah, very much looking forward to it. We'll definitely be checking that out. Wish I could go this weekend. It's a National Brick event. Plan to go to one in June. May need to try and twist hubby's arm to travel a bit more than an hour and a half drive. At least give you Sheffield and maybe Leeds. What's the name of the website you mentioned in your video that lists all the Lego events? Bricks McGee. Definitely worth keeping an eye on. There's lots of technique in this. Lots of Technic. Where do I get my shirts from? QWERTY. QWERTEE. The link is down in the description below. It's QWERTY.com. And if you use code BLOCKPARTY at checkout, you'll save £1 or €1 or $1 on whatever you buy. That is an affiliate link. So we'll get paid a little commission if you shop through our link as well. Are there any specific sets that you'd recommend around the £50 to £100 region? I mean, yeah, hundreds. What are you into? What sort of thing do you like? I mean, at that kind of price range, it's pretty hard to go wrong. You can kind of just go into the Lego store or fire up the Lego website and wait for something to catch your eye, something that you're interested in. But the answer to that question is completely different for different people with different interests. Like if you're super into Star Wars, then there's loads of cool Star Wars stuff. For me, well, I wouldn't want any of the Star Wars stuff because I'm not really into it. So it's going to vary massively from person to person. Was it hard not to buy a lot of sets at Retired Set Store? No, not really, because I checked my bank balance on the way in. So having done that, it was not very hard at all. We have had some heavy spending in recent months, and we've got the Florida trip on the horizon. So we do have to be sensible. So no, it wasn't super difficult. We'll definitely make another trip up there if at any point we find ourselves going a few months without really spending a lot of money on Lego and we're like, we've got spare Lego budget. Whatever might we spend it on, then we'll probably be taking a trip to Glasgow and having a closer look at some of the sets that they've got there. But for now, especially having been to their Aylesbury shop and having been to a lot of National Brick events, I know they've got more than that. I mean, you got to remember, they didn't move all of their stock to Glasgow. I asked them, I said, have you left anything in Aylesbury? And they said, yep, that store's still fully stocked. And they were running two separate National Brick events on the same day on the Saturday that they were stocking their own stalls at as well. So I know they've got loads more stock than what was just on the shelves in that Glasgow shop. So either it's not a case of I have to buy it now or it will never be there again. They seem to have the hookup somewhere, somehow. And I think it's a fairly safe bet that whenever I go up there with some money burning a hole in my pocket, they're going to have multiple of my my most wanted sets for me to select from. So I don't think there's any rush. But it was such a cool thing to be able to have a wander around. Getting used to your time zone. What time is it there? It is 7:30. Do you have any advice for someone starting out collecting? Me and my partner Thomas just started out, wondering what you'd advise for new starters. I've got a couple of videos on the channel dealing with exactly that topic, so I'd advise probably giving them a watch for a more detailed answer. But I think if you are just starting out, the best piece of advice I can give you is, and it is, I mean, we all started out at some point, so we've all been through the really, really exciting, oh my God, there's so many sets that look so cool phase. And most people, when they start out, I think end up with a big pile of unbuilt sets because they're buying faster they can build. So the best advice I can give you, if you've got any kind of self-control, is to try and avoid that. Because I've probably still got unbuilt sets that I've had for like 2+ years. And it's not that I don't want to build them. It's not that I don't plan to build them. It's that there's always new stuff being added to the pile. And I think if I were to make a recommendation to someone getting into it afresh, it would be as much as you possibly can, because obviously shopping for Lego is fun, but as much as you possibly can, try not to buy Lego if you've got unbuilt Lego at home. buy sets one at a time, build them, then buy the next one, because then you'll get an idea of the kind of themes you like, the kind of build styles that you like, and it will slow down the spending. And that is the big trap that people fall into, getting into what is a very expensive hobby. It's very easy to blow through a lot of money early on. So pace yourself. Try not to buy loads of sets that you haven't got the time to build currently. And whatever you do, don't get into debt to buy Lego sets. James, thank you very much for 23 months as a channel member. Hi Kev, I'm doing the Game Boy at the moment. Lovely stuff. Did you see Bonnie's Bricks when you were at Retired Sets? I didn't. I have met her before, but we were there on the Friday night, so we got a little early look. I think all the other content you've seen will have been filmed on the Saturday, but we were there on the Friday night. So yeah, we didn't see anybody other than the Retired Sets guys. So yeah, we got to do it in my usual antisocial way. Mainly because we had to drop Mr. Gold off, who obviously was with us. It must have been so stressful for them doing their whole launch based around that Mr. Gold figure, relying on some random guy who happens to enjoy going to their shop sometimes to drive it 6 hours to get to them in time for their launch. But we delivered it. It's there. I miss him still. Should have brought him home with me. Hopefully they won't figure out that I swapped him over with a Mr. Gold keyring and kept the real one. Please don't. I've got 8 sets to build and buy more tomorrow. See, that's the danger. Because the trap you fall into there is you end up filling up your house with boxes full of unbuilt Lego, and then you've got no room to display the actual Lego that you build. I know I am absolutely not one to talk. I'm completely surrounded. I've got so many sets in here to build that they can't even all fit on the shelves. They're literally piled up on the floor. So it's very much do as I say, not as I do. I can't follow that rule myself, but that would be putting my being a sensible human being hat on. That's the best advice I can give to someone getting new into the hobby. Start as you mean to go on, one in, one out. In order to buy a new set, you have to build one from your backlog. It's a great rule to put into place. It's a rule I absolutely cannot follow. And I'll forever blame it on, well, I need to make the content, which is kind of true. It's kind of true. I mean, I could go a month not buying Lego if I really had to, and there'd still be plenty of content. But I much prefer to tell myself that's not possible. I don't even want to count the sets in my backlog. The guilt would kill me. Yeah, exactly. I'm the same. I mean, we have a lot of Lego. I don't think we've got more in the backlog than we've got built. But there's definitely hundreds built and hundreds in the backlog. It's absurd numbers. Absolutely absurd. I blame my habit on your content. You're welcome. I've helped you find a wholesome and super fun hobby. Just remember, if anyone ever says you're spending too much on your Lego collection, just remind them it could all be drugs. So, you know, at least it's not. And that's the best way to look at it. Right, so this now goes here. This is a very odd setup. I feel like it's going to be very, very flimsy when it's done. And it's a very Technic heavy build. So if you don't like Technic, maybe avoid this one. I'm completely happy to take the blame for people spending too much money on Lego. If you could all let Lego in the US know, so they give me an affiliate link. Lego in the UK and Australia already know and have given me an affiliate link. But in the US and Canada and Europe, they won't. They keep turning me down for an affiliate link. So if you could all let them know how much I've influenced you into spending too much money on Lego, That'd be much appreciated, because then I might get some more affiliate links. Sometimes I think hunting for deals is probably a waste of time, manpower-wise, and just paying extra when finally ready to build something that's now retired. I mean, do it your own way. When I see a good deal on a retired set, I'm supposed to not buy it. I mean, you're not supposed to not buy it, but I guess the sensible thing to do, if we were being sensible, which again, can't emphasize enough, I don't follow my own rules here, but in an ideal world, this does feel like it shows how deep the addiction is. When I laugh at the idea of this, I mean, this is just absurd, but in an ideal world, you wouldn't even be looking unless it was time to buy a new set. Like, you would be happy with what you had until you ran out, and then you'd decide what you wanted next, then you'd go and look for the deal on it. Believe it or not, there are some people who work like that. They are very, very disciplined, and I imagine they're not watching me build Lego on a Monday night. But yeah, it is possible to not even look unless you're ready to buy, which does seem like madness. Hi Kev, big fan. So much I spent 2k using your link on the Lego last week. Are you the Mr. Diz? Is that Mr. Diz? Is that I'm going to describe you? Is that my Diz? Or is there a different person who is Mr. Diz? In an ideal world, Lego would just want me to be happy and send me all the sets for free. Okay, yeah, that probably is the most accurate description of ideal world. Maybe what I described before wasn't the ideal world. What's my next set to build? Winnie the Pooh, probably. Or maybe Kevin and Doug, or maybe the Batman sets, or the grand piano turned up the other day. Hogwarts, again, I don't even know. There's too much Lego to build. And that is not me complaining. Of course it's me. It's Diz. I mean, lovely stuff. I'm having that framed, you describing yourself as a fan. I like that. Block parties become mine and the missus' favourite channel. If you're not familiar with Diz, boys and girls, Diz is off of the wonderful world of Football Manager. I know him from a former life when it used to be possible to make content full time on that game. Those were the days. When Kevin told me the fact I was ordering lots of Brickling meant I'd passed the point of no return and was a geeky AFOL, I just accepted it. Yeah, exactly. Oh, crumbs. I don't even know what this piece is. I don't know what we're doing here. I think we're doing the bit. Do you think the River Steamboat will go on a better deal before it retires this year? I don't know. It's so hard to say. I'm always wary of acting like I know what I'm talking about when people ask questions like that, because honestly, my guess is as good as yours, or your guess is as good as mine, or however you're supposed to say that phrase. And a lot of it is going to depend on stuff we don't currently know, like how much stock Lego have, because from Lego's perspective, they're going to want to run out of them around about the time it retires. So if they've got loads left, which the fact they just put it on triple points, it's still on triple points today, isn't it? The fact it's on triple points at the moment suggests, why have I got all these pieces? I feel like I've made a terrible mistake. I finished the bag and I've got so many pieces left. Oh God, what have I done wrong? I was supposed to do that on both sides. I've missed a do two of something step. Yeah, I imagine if they've got loads left, then they'll discount them to get rid of them. But we don't know how successful this 3 times points has been. It might be that doing the 3 times points has got rid of all the excess stock and they don't need to do that. So it's really hard to say. Did I get the Technic Libre crawler crane in? I didn't. No, I made my peace with not getting it. I have got the Volvo excavator, which I still haven't built, which is it's like my alternative. I can't have the really big one, so I'll have the sort of big one. And guess what? I'm in exactly the situation I thought I'd be in with the big one. I've got it sat over there. I'm looking at it now. What am I supposed to do with it? You all saw the video that came out last week of the mess that this room is in and how full our house and the Lego city are in. What on earth am I supposed to do with a massive digger? Where's that going to go? So it probably is for the best that I didn't get the really big one, because the situation would be even worse with that one. This is a contraption and a half. My word. The steamboat's so into it. Yeah, Anna's just finished building it. I got it for Anna for Christmas and she's just finished building it and it does look cool. I was upset I missed out on the grand piano and the Amazon Spring deal. I literally, the morning the Spring deal started, I was on there, I was on it. I'd already decided next time it was on sale on Amazon, I was going for it, because I've looked at it every Amazon sale for the last 2 years, thinking it might go lower, it might go lower. I checked Camel. It hasn't been lower since like 2022. It's never going lower again. So I was on there. As soon as I woke up, there were only 8 left when I ordered mine. So, yeah, I think there was a lot of people in a similar boat to me. You could use your minifigure vending machine, put the names of your unbuilt sets inside it, and then decide what you build next. Genuinely, I would need another 30 minifigure vending machines. I could spend the rest of the year building vending machines. It's my plan, really, with the streams. This is the idea, because when we get to a new release date, I buy all of the new releases that interest me for content, and then the smaller ones get built on stream. So the Batman stuff I'll probably do on stream. Kevin I'll probably do on stream. Winnie the Pooh will probably be a TikTok, and then I think that's it for March. There's some Brickheads, Speed Champions, things like that will all be done on stream. So a lot of it I just put to one side and I know I'll build on stream. I'll just work through the pile. I think Winnie the Pooh will be a video on TikTok because it's a bit bigger and a bit too big to do on a stream. But yeah, that's basically how I decide. And then once we get to the end of the month, any that haven't been built by the next new release day then get migrated into the long-term backlog, and then they might stay there for a long time. I won't say forever, but they might be in there a while. If they make it onto a shelf, they ain't getting built anytime soon, because then they are competing with. I'm looking at Gringotts. I'm looking at like I've got the 2 big Ninjago sets that I've got like 3 series worth of Bricklink Designer Program sets. There's the Hogwarts Express. There's loads of Lego House stuff. Yeah, if they go into long term, you might not see them this year. Stuff comes out of that when I've got a plan for it. So once it's into that long term, it'll be, right, I've got an idea for where this could go in the city, or I've got an idea for where it could go in a display in the house, in the Lego room. And that's the only way it then comes out. So they need to catch my eye during their launch period. And I think we got the balance just right for, we've got to make 8 of these. I think we got the balance just right on March the 1st, where I'll have just enough sets that by the time we get to April the 1st, I'll have pretty much built all the March 1st ones. That's the plan. That means I've got it right. Sounds like you need another 24-hour build marathon. Maybe I do. We need the right charity to come along, don't we? I don't have time to do all the logistics stuff of an event like that. I need a charity to come to me, and similar to what we did with that Stand Up to Cancer one, and just do all of the background stuff for me. So I literally just have to turn up and build the Lego. So I imagine I'll be doing that again this year. I think that's an annual thing. So we'll definitely do it again for that. And then, yeah, it'll be fine. I don't want anyone to think I'm complaining. I'm certainly not complaining. It's super fun having all this stuff to do. I have a lovely time. Gringotts has been in my backlog for a year. Yeah, and the thing with Gringotts for me is that I didn't fully think through when I bought it, because like a lot of people, I panic bought it when it went on sale at the end of last year because I knew I wanted it. I hadn't realised it was retiring as soon as it is, and it went cheap. So it's like, well, I'm buying it now then. And I just bought it now without a plan. And I hadn't really properly researched it, and I didn't realise that I've got to put a back on it myself for it to fit in the city. So it's not as simple as just taking it out of the box and building the thing. I've actually got to order some more pieces and do a back enclosure so I can actually put it in the city. Otherwise it's going to be like the Diagon Alley stuff we've got in there, and it'll just be kind of stuck in limbo because it doesn't look good without a back on. Did I get stuck with the fire in Glasgow? What, the one at the train station? No, that was like a week ago, wasn't it? And we didn't go anywhere near the train station. We were only in Glasgow for 3 or 4 hours. We drove up on Friday. We parked at the shopping centre that the Lego store is in. We arrived in Glasgow at like 3:30. Parked at the shopping centre where the Lego store is. Went to the Lego store. Went to John Lewis. Went to like Lush and basically mooched around in the city centre for an hour or two. Got a coffee, and then drove out to Retired Sets and filmed that video about 6 o'clock. And then we drove over to Edinburgh to our hotel, and we spent the rest of the weekend in Edinburgh. So yeah, we weren't in Glasgow very long, and we didn't need to use any public transport. I have limited space and budgets. The only way I can do it is to choose very carefully. That's the best way. It's how I'd do it if it wasn't my job. And I do try and make that point, because occasionally I do get some probably warranted criticism that I encourage overconsumption and all the. And I mean, I shouldn't even do that voice because, yeah, I'm a monster. But yeah, if it was just a hobby, like if I was still a teacher and I'd never bought a camera and never started making YouTube content and was just a teacher who bought some Lego when his kids moved out of home, because I still would have done. We still would have ended up with more time, more room, more money if I'd have never got into content, because the kids still would have grown up and moved out, and that leads to more of all of those things. So I still would have been buying Lego now regardless, even if I wasn't making content, but I'd certainly be a lot more sensible about it. A lot more... Obviously, we wouldn't have a big storage unit to put a city in. It would just be the one room in the house and that was it. And it would need to be within a normal budget. So, yeah, I have to emphasise, we only get as much Lego as we do because it's our job. It is my main job now. This is my full-time thing. The Football Manager stuff that I've done for years is secondary to this now in terms of like importance to our business. I do it like Kev, but it's not my job. No regrets. Awesome. Did anyone win the minifigure? Not yet, I don't think. I haven't heard anything. I assume if someone did, we'd see it all over social media. I say when someone does. Because I assume, and I haven't checked this, I can't emphasise enough, I'm not affiliated with them in any way. Other than they lent me the figure to help boost their launch weekend. But I assume they'll just keep the tombola in there until somebody does win it. They've said officially this week, but I guess if it goes into next weekend, they're not just going to take the tombola away, presumably. Maybe they are. but I think it's unlikely. I think they're probably gonna give the thing away and it'll just take as long as it takes. Would I still get the big Pokemon set? Yeah, I probably would have done, because I'm a massive Pokemon fan. So yeah, I probably would have still got that set, but I probably wouldn't have bought anywhere near as, I wouldn't have bought anything on March the 1st, and I would have just got the modular on January the 1st probably. So it would have been a big expense at the end of February, but it would have only been my second Lego set of the year. And yeah, I then probably had to have taken it easy for a month or two off the back of it. I mean, it's impossible to say for sure, because we don't know what my actual budget would be. But yeah, I like to think I'm not an idiot. I would be sensible. Right, we're putting ball bits on. There's a helpful map in the instructions that show me how my ball bits are supposed to be. I am fascinated how this is going to turn into anything resembling a ball, because it certainly doesn't look anything like a ball at the moment. But I trust Lego. I believe we're going to get there. We're just taking the long way around to get there. Yeah, that goes there. And then crumbs. Where does this go? Bear with me, boys and girls. I know. Is that even right? That is right. So where do you go? In there, like that. Yeah, that looks right. And then where do you two go? You go on this side. I think. This is going to be very, very clever if it comes off. I've not seen this built anywhere yet, so I can't know for sure that it's going to be clever. It might look rubbish when it's done, but if they pull this off, it is going to be a very impressive bit of kit, I think. And I think they might be pulling it off. It's very clever. Excited for the new Lego Haunted House releasing this year? Yes, so am I. How are you enjoying Pokopia on 50+ hours in? I'm closing in on that on my main account, and then I've got my YouTube series on it as well, on SideQuest. Yeah, I'm right at the end of the story, I think. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it feels like I'm just finishing off the last bit. And then the credits will roll and the game begins, and I can start making the whole place beautiful. I can't decide on Pokopia. How long until I can power up the moves? Sick of dribbling out water. Oh, I mean, 2 hours? If you actually get on with the quests? 2 or 3 hours? PlayStation 1 would be a welcome addition to the collection. Yeah, I mean, it's rumoured to be coming, isn't it? There's been quite a lot of stuff rumoured, which obviously we don't delve into rumours too much, but I have seen a rumour of that amongst some other gaming themed stuff late in the year, which is very cool. That'll definitely be one for Anna. That was her first console. I must have done something wrong. I mean, yeah, once it rains, you don't really have to do much watering. Or I didn't. My biggest piece of advice I can give to anyone playing Pokopia who's maybe finding it a drag or is feeling like they're not progressing, and I've seen a lot of people say similar to this online, and I definitely agree, just mainline the story and then worry about building stuff and making stuff pretty and doing all of that afterwards, because every bit of story that you finish unlocks loads more items and loads more skills that make the prettiness and the building so much quicker and easier. So, like, I've seen people spend like dozens of hours on that first area, making it look like an Animal Crossing island. And it's like, if you'd have just spent that time completing the game, you'd probably still be at the same point aesthetically, because everything you've done, you could have done like that once you'd finished the story. And maybe they don't want to do it like that. Maybe they want it to take ages. But for me, I don't really want it to take ages. I want to have a plan for how I want stuff to work, and then I want to just get the stuff done. So yeah, I'm very much focused on getting the story done, and then I'll go and make it pretty. And I'll have a lot of fun doing it, because I like doing that kind of thing, but I want to do it with a full set of tools at my disposal. Do you think Lego will make the football set and the balls in the minifigure vending machine will be made into Pokeballs? Maybe, I don't know. What do you think of the Nike Air Trainer that's rumoured to be coming out? Not a fan. I mean, I'm not a fan of any of the Nike collaboration stuff they've done, really. All I wanted was a buildable Jordan 1 to put in my office, and they haven't done that. And I wanted some Lego branded adult-sized, like Jordans or Dunks or something that I could wear that I wouldn't look like an idiot in, and I haven't done that. And now we're at the point where I can't even wear cool shoes anyway. I have to wear my old man shoes now because I've messed up my heel. So that ship has sailed. I'll keep that blue Dunk. That'll go in the Lego City. We talked about it on the video the other day. I've already got rid of the half of the set that was just an advert. I'll keep the shoe, but I don't think I need to buy any more of the Nike collaboration stuff. The ball is on display in Costco, is it? My build looks like a Droideka. I know what that is. I'm a cool guy. Anna's got one of them. Where's Anna? She's just resting. It's been a heavy weekend for her. She's sat hunched up in a car for 12 hours over the course of 4 days, plus done more walking in a weekend than she's done in years. So yeah, she's just recovering. We don't want to break her. Like to see Lego come out with a Croc shoe. I mean, they probably will. They're doing all the collaboration stuff with Crocs, aren't they? It wouldn't surprise me at all if they did. I do like Crocs. I think I'm going to get some of the newest announced Crocs that they've done. And it's pretty obvious at this point, I think, isn't it? That the big ugly ones were just a marketing gimmick. Everyone in the world is now aware that Lego have collaborated with Crocs. And then they sold out really quickly, having been priced at like £200, so nobody would have been dumb enough to buy them. And now they're coming out a couple of months later while everyone's still talking about it, with some actual ones that look quite cool. It's almost like both companies know how to market stuff. Who would have thought? On the last stream you spoke about what would happen if Anna went missing. Now it looks like she has. I mean, I think we also said on the last stream that Anna wouldn't be on this one, because we are getting better at managing her pain and energy levels. And I mean, we knew this time last week that she wouldn't be on this stream, and I think we probably said that because there's just no point pushing her too hard. Am I looking forward to the Luigi cart? I am. How's my colouring book going? I'm always enjoying my colouring book. I did some colouring while we were away. I'm not quite as into it as Anna is, but I certainly enjoy it. Right, I've got to do another one of those now. Although what I'm finding with the colouring is I don't like anything that's not my nice big assortment of pens that I've got at home. We've got Anna's got like a bunch that she travels with, but they're all streaky and horrible. And I don't want to ruin my books with streaky, horrible colouring. So I ended up colouring in one of her books because I didn't want to ruin mine with her pens. So I'm thinking for when we go to Florida, I need to find an iPad app. I've got an iPad with an Apple Pencil. I need to find a way to just do it without having to take a load of stuff with me, because I really don't want to have to travel with 300 markers. But at the same time, it's been a really useful, like, end of the day relaxation thing. It's quite a nice little bedtime routine. Get to the end of the day, put my phone away, do half hour or so of colouring, and then go to bed and read until I'm ready to fall asleep. And it's quite a nice way to chill out at the end of the day. I don't really want to go 2 weeks without that routine, but I also don't want to ruin my colouring books. So I either need to get myself a burner colouring book that I don't care about, that is just for taking for Disney, that I can use rubbish pens with, or pencils or something like that, or find an app. The ideal would be doing it on an iPhone app, on an iPad app, so that I didn't have to take any extra stuff, because I'll have my iPad with me anyway. How long does it normally take between the Lego store opening time and launch day and the new art being hung on your wall? I mean, it depends on like stream time. Because those sets tend to get built on streams, usually a few weeks. If Anna was left to her own devices, it would be like the next day. But the Monet one is sat on our landing at the moment, so I hope Dave doesn't come upstairs, because I've just put it on the floor on the landing. But it's out there in the same position it was in at the end of the last stream, and she'll carry on with it on Friday. So yeah, it just depends how much streaming she can do. Do you know about Edinburgh in May? I'm aware of it, but it's while I'm out of the country, so I can't go to it. There's a few conventions that I'm going to miss. I'll be missing that. I'll be missing the Reading Brick Show this year as well. I thought I was missing the Black Country Brick Show, but I'm not. I will be able to go to that, which I'd missed last year because I hurt my back. So I'll be going to that for the first time. But I won't be at Reading this year, and I won't be at Edinburgh. And there's a couple of the touring ones that you'd normally expect to see me at that I'll be missing as well. But I'll be making up for it with lots of cool stuff that I'm doing in America. So that'll be nice. I think we've pretty much decided we're going to hire a car. I think we're going to cancel our airport transfer and just hire a car for the full 2 weeks, because we looked at how much it was, and it's surprisingly cheap to book a car for the full 2 weeks. So I think we're probably just going to do that, which does open up going to Legoland for me, even if I just end up going on my own while Anna and Pab go to the parks and queue up for rides, because I'm not much of a ride queuer. So if there's stuff they want to queue up for all day, like I've been quite clear with both of them. No point during our trip to Florida do I plan on queuing for more than an hour for anything. So anything that's going to have a queue that's more than an hour long, I ain't going on, and I'm not that bothered. I'm not really there for the rides. The rides are fun, but they're not what I enjoy about Disney. I like soaking up the atmosphere and looking at all the cool stuff and rummaging around all the fun shops. And the rides are just a nice way to pass a bit of time. They're quite fun, but I'm not really a ride person. I can take them or leave them. I'm certainly not going to queue up for ages for them. So I assume there are going to be certain rides either in Disney or Universal, because we're going to get Universal tickets as well. There'll be rides somewhere that have really long queues that they either go on a day when I'm off doing something else, and there will be a few, because with multiple sponsors lined up, I do need to make some proper videos while we're there. So we'll be doing Lego shopping. There'll be Lego hunts in various local stores. There'll be Legoland. So yeah, they can do that while I'm off doing other things. Florida is great, but be aware that because it was so hot, my had to stop and lay down on a giant leaf on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Nice. Kev remembers a drive on the right. I mean, I've driven in France loads of times. And I've never forgotten which side of the road to drive on there. Some of the hotels charge for parking. We've checked, ours doesn't. So with our hotel, we get free parking at our hotel and at all the Disney parks. And obviously we can still use the shuttle buses as well. There is a Bricks and Mini. We're going to go to Bricks and Mini, or I'm going to go to Bricks and Minifigs. I'm going to go to the Orlando Brick Company. Nearer the time, I'll reach out to these places and just double check they're okay with me filming, because the Orlando Brick Company in particular is like an hour's drive in the opposite direction to Legoland, so it's not something I can do on the same day. So that'll be a whole thing. So I'll double check they're happy with me filming there first. I'm sure they will be. I've never had an independent Lego shop say no, but then I've never tried to film in America, so they might feel differently about it there. But yeah, there'll be lots of fun stuff to get on with. Has Mr. Gold been won yet? Not as far as I know. I mean, if you're looking on social media at the moment, you'd probably find out before me if it had, because like I tried to emphasise in all the videos, I'm not affiliated with Retired Sets in any way. Like, I don't know. They're not going to update me necessarily. I'm relying on one of you not winning it and you telling me, hey, I won it. Thanks for telling me about it. But yeah, I assume a big deal will be made on social media about it when it is won. So I don't think it has been yet. Any sets or minifigures I'm hoping to find? Not really. Mainly because I can only bring one piece of luggage back with me. So I'm not a minifig person at all. So I'm certainly not worried about buying minifigures, which would be the obvious thing to buy and bring home because they're small. But I don't care about minifigures, really. So, I mean, there might be one or two sets, but on the whole, it's just, I'm looking for the experience and to show you lot what's there, rather than necessarily shopping for stuff for me. It'll be more a case of going and having a look at what's available. And if I find something utterly sensational at an incredible price, I'll either have to find a way to squeeze it into my bag or figure out if it's viable to post it home to myself. I've already told Anna I'm taking disposable clothes with me. So all the clothes I travel out with, I'm planning on leaving there so that I've got room in my case to fill with Lego and Disney merch. Does Anna do YouTube as well, or does she have a different job? I mean, she works with me in our company. So she's not really... The only place she's really in front of the camera is on this channel and occasionally on the vlogs, but she does a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. There's more to doing content than just goofing around on camera the way I do. So she does a lot of the behind the scenes planning, logistics, boring money stuff. Yeah, she's I guess, I don't even know how you describe her role. Producer slash office manager slash bookkeeper slash logistics manager slash personnel. Yeah, she does a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. There's no way I could run as many channels as I run without Anna doing a lot of the stuff that I don't want to do. So it's very helpful. She did used to have another job, but I went full-time before she did. I went full-time back in 2017, and it was 2021 when Anna joined me and went full-time with it as well. So yeah, Anna's been a full-time employee of our company for getting on for 5 years now. She does all the work and I'm just the talent slash face of the company. Exactly that, yeah. Anything that an outsider might look at and consider like work, you can be pretty sure Anna has done. And then anything an outsider would look at and think that is just a man-child messing around. That's my bit. That's what I do. I definitely have the fun part of the job. But Anna wouldn't want to do this part. She wouldn't want to sit here and stream on her own. She'd find the whole concept of doing this on her own utterly mortifying. It took quite a lot to convince her to do the streams full stop. Because when she first went full time, she did try and do some streams on her own, some gaming streams, and she just didn't enjoy the experience at all. So yeah, she tried that for a few months and then just decided it wasn't for her and focused on behind the scenes stuff instead, which was much needed. Yeah, Anna is the official adult of the company, because without adult supervision, can you imagine? I mean, it's pretty chaotic as it is, but can you imagine how chaotic all of this would be without some adult supervision? Like, as a perfect example, there's no way I would have left Scotland without a whole bunch of Lego sets if I didn't have adult supervision. Because you all saw the list of my holy grails that came out the day after we went to retired sets. So you all saw how many of those sets I wanted to buy. And I was very clearly told I was not to buy anything because we have the Florida trip coming up. And she's absolutely right. But I definitely would have just bought a load of stuff without adult supervision. Oh yeah, we'd be in the office now, whether it's a good idea or not, for sure. We'd have a Brixie style warehouse at this point, whether it's a good idea or not. I would just go with every harebrained scheme I ever had. I would just do everything the moment I thought of it. Which is fun to a point, but needs adult supervision. What modulars am I missing? The only one I'm still looking to buy is Grand Emporium. What Star Wars section at the retired set store in Glasgow like? Watch the video. I put a video out on Saturday touring the whole shop, so you can see the whole section on that. I don't know anything about Star Wars, so there was a lot there. I don't know if it was any good or not, but it's like a 25-minute video. We toured the whole shop. You can see everything they've got in that video. So yeah, your best thing to do is watch the video. Seems a boring build. My brain works differently to a lot of people. I don't believe there is such a thing as a boring build necessarily. What I enjoy most about Lego is being able to shut off my brain and just follow instructions. It's why I don't build mocks, because I have a creative job, so I don't necessarily want to be super creative in my hobby, which is where Lego started originally, as a hobby. So it just kind of shuts off the noise in my brain, being able to just sit here and build. And it's ideal for a stream build, because I'm just plugging away at it, chatting to you lot, not really having to focus on it too hard, because it's a lot of very similar steps, but my little autistic brain thinks that's brilliant. It's having a lovely time. I didn't know B&Q sold Lego. They don't really. B&Q is a marketplace like Amazon and eBay and places like that. So they don't really sell sets, but people can sell sets on there. Similar to Wilco as well. It's just basically a recognisable brand for a storefront to operate on, but they're not actually sold by B&Q. So be aware of that. I'm trying to work out where this is supposed to go. I think that goes in there. Oh, it's colour coded. That's handy. So that goes in there. That goes in there, and that goes in there. Oh, that's quite clever. It's taking shape and is quite clever. It's getting there. Freddie, thank you very much for becoming a channel member. You don't label yourself as a master builder. Oh, God, no. Absolutely not. Oh, was I supposed to do 2 of those? Oh. Oh, Kevin. You handsome idiot. Two of those. Oh, you beautiful rascal. Now, in my defence, way back here it said do 2, but at the start of bag 8, there's no 2x symbol. It springs it on you at the end of bag 8. Yeah, you should have done that twice. Oh, thanks. Now you tell me. Sent you an email regarding my Grand Emporium. I'm looking to sell it. I can give you the answer now that you'll get at this stage. It'll be something on the lines of, thank you very much for reaching out. We're not really in a position to buy at the moment. Don't wait for us, because I don't know when we will be in a position to buy something like that. If it's still available in like June, July time, then feel free to reach out again. But yeah, we're not really in a position to buy now, because we've got, and again, this is the combination of Anna and my accountant. The accountant has got us on a spending ban throughout the rest of April, because we're in danger of not showing enough profit for the year. So we can't buy anything until April, and then once we get into April, that's when we go to Florida. So we need to keep our money aside for that. That's then Anna saying can't do anything in April. We don't get back until the middle of May. We'll then be recovering from spending money in Florida. There'll be a load of sets come out on June the 1st, and we'll have to prioritise those over retired stuff. So realistically, it's going to be that quiet period in the summer, like July, August time, when we're actually seriously looking at our next wave of retired stuff. Because let's face it, I've got a huge backlog in the meantime. I don't need to buy loads of Lego between now and then. I'll get the most interesting new releases just to keep the content flowing. But I don't need to be spending loads of money on more stuff for the backlog before then. And you would have seen us go for a similar shape to that last year. There was a long period last year where we didn't really buy a lot, to the point where a few people got a bit annoyed in the comments of some of the convention videos in particular. Oh, this guy never buys anything. Are you serious? The biggest criticism we get is that we spend too much money on Lego. And you're moaning that I've gone to 3 conventions in a row without spending anything. I can't buy something at I can't buy a modular at every convention. Can you determine what % of your subscribers are from the US? It's something I can go and find, yeah. Ever thought about getting into scale models? Not really. What 2026 retiring sets do I want? I've been quite organised over the last year, picking up most of them. The big one was, certainly the big one for July was the grand piano, which I got recently. I don't know that there is anything major that retires this year that I want that I haven't already got. Like most of the big ones that people are chasing at this point, we've probably already got. So there's nothing obvious currently. Have you built any fun hole sets? Yes, yeah. Well, I've built a couple of smaller ones. Anna has built quite a lot of their modulars. She's actually just finished building one that will be out as a sponsored video in the next few days, I imagine, or next week or so. That's another thing that Anna does as part of the business. She is very much director of alternate brick brands. So anytime we get anything like that sent to us, because everyone but Lego sends us sets, and I just don't have time to build them. So Anna builds them, and then we'll record a little review of that. So yeah, she's probably got 6 or 7 Lumibricks modular buildings now, and they are cool. They're very cool. I just don't have time. I'm a busy guy. How far in advance do they announce retiring sets? They don't really announce them. There's just lists that leak through the retailers. They won't be officially announced until like a month before. But I made a video the other day with everything that is currently known. It's all very much subject to change. But we've got a good idea at this point what's retiring this year. And it's a long list. It's like 500 sets. Each year, about half of the product range retires. Because the average life of a Lego set is like 18 months. Right, well, someone's being a bit weird. Can I not do that on here? Chicken Ninja. For now, I'm timing you out for 10 minutes. If you come back and apologise for what you've just posted, then I won't ban you. If you come back and do anything other than apologise, you're done. So the very first thing you have to say when you come back is, sorry, it was only messing around, didn't mean anything by it. I apologise, and then we're good. Otherwise, off you pop. Yeah, splendid. That was strange. Doing the older Winnie the Pooh set, almost done building the tree. On just a single page it said to do this to make 4 times mini builds. In the last step of the mini build is then to do the other micro build times 6. I know. Will Lego bring out more sets similar to Charles Dickens and Jane Austen? Probably, because I think they've been pretty popular. I think it's a fair bet that they will. What set am I on? Say I'm making the football, which I am part way through. I'll get it finished tonight, I think. Distracted by Pocopia. That's completely acceptable. If there's ever anything to be distracted by, it's Pocopia. Which, I mean, it is a wonderful thing. How many pieces is this set? It's like 1,500 pieces, I think. There or thereabouts. And it's very Technic heavy. So if you're not into Technic, this is not the set for you. But it's quite nice for someone like me who does mostly buildings. It's quite refreshing to do something so different with so much Technic and so much going on. I think it's going to look very cool when it's finished. Am I planning on having a zoo in the city? Eventually. Thoughts on the Marvel Tower set? Do you recommend it to her? What Marvel Tower are you talking about? What, the Avengers Tower? Yes, it's very cool. It's one of my favourite sets. It is very expensive though. Love the content currently watching while building the big 60s Batmobile. Nice. Swapping out the pieces of the football set to grey ones to make a Death Star would be better than the Death Slice. I mean, it doesn't have any Star Wars scenes in it, so I feel like most Star Wars fans are more into the minifigs and the scenes than needing to have a big grey circle in their house. I think it was just a very, I mean, it was very Internet 2025, Internet 2026. I think there was a very vocal minority who made a lot of noise, but I think a lot of people bought that Death Star and a lot of people like that Death Star, and it serves the exact purpose it was intended to serve, in that it allows them to have a lot of cool scenes with their minifigures, which is such a popular part, particularly of Star Wars, without having to take up even more space on a shelf than it no doubt already will, because it's enormous. To me, it's like the Star Wars version of the Batcave Shadow Box, which loads of people whinged and moaned about. And now it's already doubled in price since retiring because they were too busy whinging and moaning. But what you actually see is now you've got new people coming to the hobby who weren't around when the whinging and moaning was happening, so don't know that the narrative was the Batcave shadow box is rubbish, it's just a black box. You've got new people coming in who are like, oh my word, that is a Batcave that I can fit on a shelf. It's so cool. So it's now one of the most popular retired sets at any convention. So it's doubled in price almost immediately. And depending on how long that Death Star is out for, I can definitely see the same thing happening with that. I mean, if it's available for 5 years, then maybe not. But if that retires in like a year, yeah, the people who are having a moan now might not ever get it and might not ever care. But there's always going to be new people coming to the hobby, and they're going to see that and be like, oh my word, I can display that in my living room, and it's got all those minifigures and it just looks so cool. And people are going to like it. I'm convinced of it. It's the Star Wars version of the Batcave Shadow Box. I'm certain of it. Right, so this goes on this side. That's why sometimes you have to make up your own mind and not just go with what the internet tells you to think. This is quite cool. Death Slice is even better from Amazon at always £150 off. Yeah, exactly. Have you seen Duck Bricks' collection? If so, would you ever want that much Lego? If I had the space for it, yes. Do you think Arkham has sold well as it's retiring quick? It's hard to say. With licensed sets, it's difficult to know if they're retiring quick because they didn't sell or because the license is expiring. So we don't know. It's not just Lego who'll be making the decision on a set like Arkham Asylum. It might be that DC want to reimagine Arkham Asylum and don't want that version of it that exists. There might be a movie coming out, there might be a comic coming out, there might be a game coming out, and for whatever reason they might not want that product on the market any longer than it already has been. I'd be surprised if it hadn't sold well, because it's Batman and Batman does tend to sell well. So I'd be surprised if it had flopped, because it's a superhero. I tell you what, if it does end up retiring this year, and I know it's scheduled to at the moment, if it does end up retiring this year, that set is going to be worth like $1,000 in 5 years' time. Because it's Batman. I'm not sure if you're aware, boys and girls, Batman's quite popular. Not only is it Batman, but it's a Batman modular building. Whew. Oh my word. That thing is going to be worth a few quid. If money wasn't a thought, what set would I most like? What set is my must-have? I made a video kind of answering that question yesterday where I listed lots of them. But if money was absolutely no object, like if I won the lottery today, I don't even know what day the lottery's on. I don't buy tickets. But if I won the lottery today, I would be driving back up to Glasgow tomorrow, and I would be buying, as a starting point, all of those Bricklink sets that I showed you in the video that I want. So the modular construction site, the observatory, as my starting point. I'd get the 1989 Batmobile while I was there. That would kick me off, and then I'd start getting my other bits and bobs as well. I would get some stuff. I don't anticipate ever being in a position where money is no object, but oh, wouldn't it be fun? Wouldn't it be fun? How many Lego points do I have? Not many, because I use them regularly. Pretty much whenever they say, you've got X amount of points, do you want to use them? I usually go, yeah, all right. So I rarely have a lot. Someone in the UK won the 180 million Euro Millions last Friday. Was it me? Do you have to have bought a ticket to win it? Because I didn't. But it would be nice if I had. I mean, I could have some fun with 180 million pounds. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Oh my word. I'd love to see Anna's face as you walk through the door with those Bricklink sets. I mean, if we had millions in the bank, I doubt she'd care. She'd be with me, filling the boot of the car with her own stuff. If the T-Rex retires this year, do you reckon the price will fly up? It's difficult to say. I don't really know. I think that's much more of an acquired taste. That's much less of an obvious win than a Batman modular building. Because Batman sets are always worth loads when they retire. You just have to look at the various Batmobiles, the various previous versions of Arkham. Just Batman sets in general do well when they retire. The Shadow Box, as we've just talked about, the Skyline set that retired last year is already shooting up in price. So Batman sets in general do really well when they retire, and modulars do. Again, you've seen what's happened with the Daily Bugle. So yeah, I expect it to go quite expensive. Did you see the new Jurassic Fossil set we're getting in June? Yeah, I'm waiting for Lego to actually officially announce it. Although they've kind of pretty much announced it on the socials. My rule of thumb to be a good boy is until it's showing on the Lego website, I don't do a video about it. So I'm just waiting for them to put it on their website. And when they do, I will give you my thoughts. But I talk about it a little bit in the video that's coming out tomorrow. How do the Speed Champion cars stick to the wall? It's a load of Lego plate and they just attach to the plate with Lego. So yeah, it's literally a load of plates nailed into the wall, pretty much. And then use Lego to attach the Speed Champions to it. 1989 Batmobile is over 500. The Shadow Box is how much? Yeah, Arkham will go the same way. Exactly. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Arkham got pushed, unless there's a licensing reason why it can't. I think purely from a Lego perspective, it's mad for it to retire this year. But we don't know. Like I say, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know how long the license was for. It might be that they licensed it for 18 months with an option to renew, and it hasn't sold enough to renew the option. It might not be worth throwing more money at DC. Who knows? It's not always as simple as, is a set popular? If yes, keep selling. If no, stop selling. That's the simplistic way some of the folk on Reddit want you to think it works. But just because a set retires early doesn't mean it was a flop, necessarily. It might mean it's a flop, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it definitely is a flop. There's all kinds of reasons that can go into explaining why something retires early. Will I be getting the helmets? What, the F1 helmets? Nah. I've not watched a Formula One race since about 1996. I have no interest at all in Formula One. So, yeah, I don't need those. The Speed Champions were one thing because they're 20 quid and they look cool on that display. But even then, most of the Formula One ones have come off the wall now and are just in a pile on a shelf over there while I decide what I'm going to do with them. But the helmets are like 80 quid a go. I don't need to be spending £80 on little hats for people I've never heard of. Thomas has asked, if this wasn't your job, would you ever consider becoming a lorry driver? I mean, I was a teacher before I did this, so I'd probably still be a teacher. So no. Not that there's any reason why I'm not like opposed to it, but just I'm qualified in something else, so I would just still be doing that other thing, I should think. As far as real jobs go, being a teacher was the best one I ever had. And if I still had to have a real job, I'd probably choose that. If social media went away tomorrow and I had to get a real job again, I'd just go back into teaching. I taught an in-demand subject. I imagine I could probably have supply work by the end of the week and a permanent position, probably as a head of department again, by the time the Easter holidays are done. I could probably, like the start of the summer term, I could probably be in a job again relatively easily because of the subject that I teach or taught. It's one of the reasons why I was able to take the gamble and go full-time when I did, because I'm very lucky in that, because I am qualified to teach an in-demand subject and have a proven track record teaching that in-demand subject, it really wouldn't be hard for me to find another job if this all went away tomorrow. So I was able to take the risk and make the decision a little bit earlier, because if it had all gone wrong, never mind. I had a safety net from the start that was always enough to last me like 6 months. So if at the end of the 6 months, we talked about it a lot on the vlogs at the time, if at the end of that 6 months we didn't have any safety net left, I just would have got a job again. And luckily we never reached that point, and we still haven't 10 years on. So I'm good at the moment. What did I teach? Computer science. Which of the rebrickables you have lined up are you most excited to build in the backlog? Probably the Oscorp Tower. I think that's probably going to be the next rebrickable I do. I've got all the pieces ready for it. I just need to find the time. The problem with rebrickables for me is finding the time to just sort all the Lego to begin with. Which again will be another big advantage if and when we get the new office, because Anna can do that phase then, because she enjoys all that. I hate sorting, but she can do all that for us when we've got an office to be in, which would be super duper. So that goes in there like that. How about that help with social media? What, computer science? Not really. Not really any crossover. I've not written a line of code since I've been doing this. So yeah, there's teaching in general helped with doing this job, because teaching made me a much more confident public speaker. So yeah, if you're looking to get into content creation, doing a few years as a teacher is certainly a good starting point, because it makes you much more confident just talking. Any office updates? There won't be any office updates until after Florida. We talked about it a little bit the other day. We can't do anything until April 10, because our accountant has us on a spending ban until next tax year. So we can't do anything until April. And then in April we go to Florida, and we don't come back until middle of May. And then we've got the June the 1st sets, which will be a big launch. So realistically, we need to get the other side of those June the 1st releases. So the earliest we can really start seriously looking at it is the middle of June. And I will be seriously looking at it in the middle of June. And hopefully by the time we get to like September, I'd like to be completely moved into a new office with the city and everything moved over. That was always the plan for this year, and it got a little bit derailed because I got a little bit overexcited when I found somewhere that looked perfect. But as we talked about a little bit on the stream, luckily I'm not the only one making the decisions, and my my built-in voice of reason within the company has told me to wait, and she is right. So hopefully that office will still be available in June. If it's not, we'll find a different one. and it'll be fine. Because that one is not perfect. It's pretty close to perfect. Like, the actual office itself is perfect, but it is up 4 flights of stairs with no lift. So, and no parking. So, those two things combined stop it from being perfect. So by waiting, we might end up with something that's genuinely perfect. We'll just have to see. You did write some code when automating the trains. Yeah, God, how rusty was I with that? I was so out of practice. Retired Sets has the UFO Fairground Carousel. Create 3-in-1 up for £2,750. Must be a mistake. Yeah, it must be. There's been somebody on TikTok who's been posting about a set that's obviously mispriced. And they've posted it in the comments of like 3 different videos, and they're really trying to make it into a big deal, and it's like, it's obviously a mistake. I don't know why you're getting so excited about it. Just don't buy it. It's obviously a mistake. If you're that bothered, contact them and they'll no doubt confirm it's a mistake. But yeah, obviously that's not what they're charging for that set. But yeah, mistakes are made. It's not a big deal. So that goes in there. Is that right? And then that will come down. Yeah, that is right. Okay. Have you got the lighthouse in the Lego City? Would I recommend? Yes and yes. It's a great set. Anything is better than 4 flights of stairs and no parking. See, I don't think that's true necessarily, because I would pay removal men to get everything in. So actually moving the city and all the Lego over there initially isn't something I need to worry about. Someone else can do that. And then once we're in there, 4 flights of stairs isn't a big deal. I don't mind parking on the street. And the actual interior, if you've seen the pictures that we put up on Patreon, it is everything I've ever... Whenever you've heard me describe what the dream office would be one day, I was describing this building. It is perfect as a studio for what we want to do. But yeah, it's just not the right time. And if we could find somewhere exactly like that, as cheap as that is, on the ground floor with a car park, that'd be perfect. But I suspect being on the ground floor and having a car park will double the price, because all of a sudden it makes it realistic for like a proper business to come and rent it. I think the reason it's as cheap as it is because it's the size you would want for like a team of 10 people to work in, but it only has 1 toilet, so you can't have 10 people in there because it's only got 1 toilet, and you need to be able to have 1 of each. I think if you have more than 3 employees, you have to have a male and a female toilet is the law. So you can't put an office full of people there because they don't have a second toilet. Plus you need to be like accessible to disabled people, which it's not because there's no lift. And plus you couldn't have a team of 10 working there anyway because there's nowhere for them to park. So the reason it's as cheap as it is because of its flaws. And I can look past those flaws and be like, yeah, it's saving me £1,000 a month. I'm all right. I'll walk up the stairs. I'll probably lose a bit of weight. It's fine. I don't mind parking on the street. The car's insured. What's the worst that can happen? Just Googling the Lego site, saw in my wish list, and they have cute Easter Lego decorations out. Lovely stuff. Our next set is going to be the mechanical camel, one for the Trekkies. Lovely. Those Trekkies love a camel. Bunch of rascals. Alright. Hopefully if it's still available it'll be less expensive. But that's the other hope as well. Because they know I've made contact with them. So I've spoken to the estate agent and explained all this to them. So they know the situation we're in and that we're not in a huge rush. I get the impression it's already been on the market for a while. And I really get the impression that if it's still on the market in June, bearing in mind we found it in January, if it's just been sat there empty for at least 6 months, not knowing how long it was empty for before then. I mean, the photos, it looks like it's been empty for a while. So I'd like to think we can negotiate on the price when the time comes, based on the fact that anything is better than it sitting there empty for another 6 months or a year or however long it would be. So yeah, maybe we'll get it even cheaper when the time comes. But certainly there's no point doing it now, because even if we can't afford to do it now, but if we did, even if we did, I haven't got time to start moving stuff over now anyway, because I've got to spend the next month getting prepped for nearly 3 weeks out of the office. All told, with the Florida trip, we're in the US for 15 days, and then we've got like 2 days either side of it where we're getting back and forth from airports and moving PAB around the country as well. So yeah, it's getting on for 3 weeks where I'm not going to be sat at my office working, and I've got multiple channels that I need to keep running while we're away. So I need to be pre-recording 3 weeks of Football Manager videos. I need to be pre-recording at least 10 videos for this channel. Obviously I'll be making some videos while we're there, but we do daily videos and we're not going to be streaming while we're there. So even if I make a video every other day while we're there, I still need to have like 10 pre-recorded for the other days. So yeah, I'm going to be spending the next month banking content for that, and then we're away, so there would be no point doing it before then anyway, and then we'll be busy with the June sets. So there was a reason we always talked about doing it in the summer, because it was realistically the first opportunity when we'd have time to do it. Plus it gives us time to save for it as well. The Apex Grand Prix Speed Champion is back in stock on the Lego website. Well, there you go. Finally. I wonder how long until it goes out of stock again. Saying howdy from Germany. Howdy to Germany. No, it's very unlikely there'll be any US streams. I mean, there might be one. But we're going to be busy. We've got so much planned. And although 2 weeks seems like a long time, we've never been before. So in addition to doing all the Disney stuff, we've also got Universal tickets. So we're going to want to do all the Universal stuff. Plus we're going to want to do all the like USA stuff that we've never done. Like there's going to be a full day which is just going to be us wandering around various American shops that we've seen on TV and the internet, going, a Walmart, a Target, and just wandering around them, having the time of our lives. So yeah, there's not going to be time really. Does Football Manager content not change every week? No. They release the game in November, and then it doesn't really change until the following November. When do you think the next few 2 times points events will be from June onwards? I mean, there's just no way of knowing. I don't have any kind of secret information. How am I finding The Hobbit? I finished it. It was okay. I'm not like super giddy and excited to read the next book. I'm certainly going to be reading some other stuff before I move on to the next one of those. It was a bit of a slog. It took me much longer than a book would normally take. So I don't know if it's going to be for me. I'll get through them, but can't say as I particularly enjoyed it. But I bought some books in Manchester that I'll read first. Don't forget to go to Publix supermarket in Orlando. See, I don't even know what that is. The giant Walmart in Orlando is absolutely bonkers in the best and worst way. See, that seems exciting to me. Is it hot over here? I've been driving through snow today. There was snow up in Scotland. It's not snowing here, but it's still only 9 degrees. It's certainly not warm, although apparently it's going to get quite warm towards the end of the week, according to the weatherman. But yeah, I've been out in multiple layers. We were walking to the car this morning with gloves and hats and scarves on, and like I was wearing 2 coats. It was freezing up in Scotland. Does this mean Rivendell is now justified? No, I need to read all 4 of them and enjoy them for Rivendell to be justified. Just reading them isn't enough. I have to actually enjoy them. So, yeah, we'll see. Where's the t-shirt from? The t-shirt is from QWERTY.com. There's a link in the description, probably. There certainly is to our videos. We do have a discount code. If you use code BLOCKPARTY, all one word, at checkout, you'll save £1 or €1 or $1, depending on where you are in the world, on your order. But it's QWERTY.com, QWERTEE.com. They do 3 new shirts every day at 10 PM UK time. So I check them every evening before I go to bed to see what the new shirts are. And yeah, like I said, we've got a discount code. That code is an affiliate link as well. So if you use it, we'll earn a little bit of a commission on whatever you spend, whilst you save some money as well. Anywhere I can buy. I'm not going to talk about jumbo packs of condoms and Mickey ears under the same roof as a place I want to be. That does sound interesting. Can tell you're not from the north. It's not big coat weather anymore. It was 3 degrees in Edinburgh this morning when we were walking to the car. 3 degrees. That is close enough to freezing that when I got in my car, it warned me about the ice risk. That is cold enough to wear a big coat by anybody's standards. If my car is warning me, then it's cold. That's Scottish summer weather. Then why don't people move somewhere with sensible weather? I mean, I could not handle the constant random raining. Like we'd be out and it'd be nice and sunny and be like, oh, it's actually warming up a bit. The sun's come out, it's quite nice. And then you nip into a shop, you come back out and it's absolutely hailing it down again. It's like, oh my word, will this ever end? And we only had to put up with it for 1 weekend. I just could not live with the constant random rain and cold. I'd just have to move. I couldn't cope with it. We had a massive hailstorm whilst you were away in Northamptonshire. Proper lumps, rain and rainbow, crazy weather. Hubby's wearing shorts in 5 degrees. That is utter insanity. Right. But yeah, if they sorted the weather out, Edinburgh would be lovely. But unfortunately, it's just too cold and too moist. Right, so where do these go? In there. There. And there. This is turning into like Iron Man's helmet with the mechanism on it. Right, we're on to the final bag. Don't move to sunny California. We don't have a lot of Lego conventions nearby. Clearly, I just live in the perfect place. When are we off to Florida? April. Any big plans? Disneyland or Disney World, sorry. I'm going to keep saying Disneyland because obviously European. Our Disney is Disneyland. And it will come out of my mouth constantly because it's all I've ever said. But yeah, just general touristy, theme parky things is the plan. Right, final bag. Have you had any more success on what set to build out there? No, I've not really thought about it. I've been busy. I mean, something Disney related makes the most sense, I should think. But I'm not sure what, because between me and Anna, we've built most of the obvious Disney sets. Like, we've got the castle, we've got the Beauty and the Beast castle. They're both too big to do anyway. I've got the Magic of Disney set already built, which would have been another obvious one. We've got the small castles that we've already built. Anna's built most of the buildable figures, and I don't think buildable figures are really the right thing anyway. Maybe I'll just buy the UCS Millennium Falcon and build that next to all the Star Trek stuff. Maybe that's the thing. Oh, I'm dinging a message from my daughter. Oh, goodness me, it's a long one. I'll read that later. I don't know what she's saying to me. It's a lot of words. Is there no American exclusives? Not as far as I know. Build Olaf and take him to meet Olaf. I mean, that's kind of the plan for when we go to Paris later in the year. Now they've got all of that there. Save him for then. And he's easier to transport for a trip like that. So that goes there, I think. Okay. And now this last bit we have to do 6 of. I say it's the last bit. I feel like it must be close to the last bit. I'm guessing you've already spoken about the break-in at Toenail Bricks. I didn't know there had been a break-in at Toenail Bricks. So no, haven't spoken about it. I was going to say what's happened. I assume that they've had a break-in, which isn't ideal. Hopefully they're insured. That is one of the concerns that I have about when we do get an office. If people find out where it is, then they know there's a lot of value there. And obviously they are very public about where it is because they do open days. So it would worry me. So hopefully they are insured. But yeah, I've been busy all weekend. I've been driving all day. I haven't seen anything about that. Just gone to go on the website and it says they've had a break-in, so website's down until they've sorted things. Customers will be contacted. Wow. That is not good. One moment, boys and girls. Just gonna block someone who's being a creepy pervert. That's them gone. I got the Dungeon Dragon set and the Italian Riviera for £450 off of Facebook Marketplace. Nice. Should have saved the football as the World Cup is in America. Yeah, but I would have ended up having to constantly be going on about how it's football, not soccer, and it would have been a whole thing. It's probably easier for me to just do it here. Plus, I want it for the background for my Football Manager videos. It's too cool a set. I mean, maybe they're bringing out loads of Messi sets, aren't they? Maybe I'll build a Messi set there if they're out in time. Because he plays his football in Florida now, doesn't he? So maybe I do a Messi set. I think there's like 3 or 4 different Messi sets coming out. Someone at work said, be careful how much Lego's in the house. Didn't think people stole Lego. I mean, I imagine they probably do. People will steal anything. How about Steamboat Willie Ideas set? We've got the small one of those. Maybe the big one. Like the actual idea set. We've got the little gift with purchase one. But I did see that at Retired Sets the other day. I was like, maybe. Off to Milan next month and it has 3 Lego shops. Nice. Do you collect popcorn and sippies from Disneyland? I do not. No. No, I managed to avoid most of the like collectibles. I have a few pin badges, but not anything I would consider like a proper collection. And I don't do any of the pin trading or anything like that. So yeah, I like to buy like a cuddly toy when I'm there because I'm a giant child, and I like the t-shirts, the clothing, more traditional merch stuff, I guess. Not stuff that's just I've got this because that's what you get at Disneyland. I don't really have that kind of stuff. Going to my first Lego show at the start of April. Nice. No idea they made a Lego football. That's awesome. It is perfect for the Football Manager videos. It will sit there next to my Football Manager football in my office. This came out on the 1st of March. This and the World Cup trophy came out on the 1st of March. And it is a very cool set. And I'm looking forward to seeing the finished thing with the mechanism and the little stadium inside. Because it feels like a long time ago now that we built that little stadium. And I want to see how it all fits together. The Messi sets will easily be the first sets I'll pre-order. Never felt the need to pre-order any others before. Wow. Do we know when they're out? Are they? I don't think they're even officially announced yet, are they? So they might not be out in time for when we go. Right, last few of these going on. So that one, and oh crumbs, just push that one somewhere it shouldn't be pushed, I think. There we go. Right, get on. Get on, all of you. I know it's slightly off topic, but I've been watching you play Pokopia. I'm really enjoying it off camera. Yeah, I've nearly finished the story off camera. And then I'm just going to very much enjoy all of the lovely decorating. But it's my favourite game that I've got in a long, long time. Right, so now we can test the mechanism and shut that down like that. And then we just need to get all these pieces on. Think, or it's telling me to stick stickers on somewhere, but I don't know where the stickers need to go on. Where's the front? I guess the stickers go on the bit at the front, so I know which bit's the front. I guess I've got 2 stickers. One saying it's a size 5 Lego football, which tells me it's 1,497 pieces, which on the box it says 1,498 pieces. So between the box and the sticker, they need to agree how many pieces it actually is. Oh. All right. come back up so I can see you properly. I'll pull that off there actually. And then we've got another one of these to go on the front there as well. Stickers. So that's the stickers done. And then we just need to get these rascals on and we're done. Oh, and then we have to fit the interior. Tip for Universal, you can ask to walk through any of the queues even if you're not riding. Lots of the Harry Potter stuff is crazy to see. If they're not busy, they'll give you a little tour. Nice. Another off-topic question, what's your favourite team in the Premier League? That would be Arsenal. So I'm very much enjoying the Premier League this season. He's a Spurs fan. Does that even count as football? What time am I streaming until? Until I finish this set, so probably not much longer. So I guess these just poke into any remaining gaps. Yeah. So there. It is actually spherical. There. There. What a clever set this is. There. And there. And then the trick is, the one with the sticker on, is the one where we can open that up, because then the little stadium scene that we built previously slots in there and clips in, I think. There you go. So now we have what appears to be a mild-mannered, very spherical football set, which is very cool in its own right. But then you open that up and you have this awesome football stadium scene inside, and that's how it will be displayed in my office, because it will be displayed next to an actual football. So in order to make this actually stand out and be unique, it needs to have this. But that is very, very cool. What an excellent set that is. And as someone said before, I think it is currently on discount in Costco. So if you want it and not pay full price for it, you can grab it from Costco for less than the £100 Lego will charge you for it. But it is absolutely awesome. That's so cool. Right, folks, we are going to wrap things up there. I don't know what I'm going to be building on Friday. Anna will be carrying on with the Claude Monet art set. She'll be back on Friday. I might do some Batmobiles. I've got the 3 new Batmobiles and the Batman sign. So we might crack on with some Batmobiles. We might do some Speed Champions. I don't know. We'll figure it out nearer the time. Obviously, there'll be videos between now and then as well, including tomorrow. We'll have the video showing you everything we got up to in Scotland that wasn't at Retired Sets. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Toodle pip.